there's like a crazy comic vibe to this movie. Is that the reason why you guys wanted to do this?
The crazy part, and you know, it's based on a wonderful, what do you call it, graphic novel, and but the craziness, that's what really drew me to it. It was so bizarre, great, wonderful premise.
And what about you?
Same thing. I mean, I loved how it just sort of turned every kind of idea I had about police work and all this thing on its ass a little bit, and just made it took a left turn every time you think it's going to go right, and I love that.
Did you guys have like, and this is going to sound really funny, have like chemistry readings?
We had rehearsal. We had 2 weeks of rehearsal where we got to just you know, jam on the script a bit and mess around with the kind of the tone of the film. That was very helpful.
Would you say that's a long time, 2 weeks?
Yeah, it is
For a
these
film.
days. It is, yeah.
You usually get 4 or 5 days, maybe.
If
sometimes,
you're lucky,
if that. Yeah, sometimes none.
And your dad, he's been in a lot of westerns. Is there something that you learned from him that you apply to your own movies?
Yeah, you know, he taught me all the basics of acting, but you know, the big thing was just he approached it with such joy and had such a great time, and when you're having fun, you know, it kind of relaxes you, and all the best stuff I find, you know, kind of pops out when you're having a good time.
There's a lot of action in this movie, but there's also like a little bit of, well, not necessarily like a love story, but you know, something really sad happens, so you go from a really bizarre scene to a really serious one. How do you do that? Can you elaborate on that?
You know, I love that stuff. I love those moments where, you know, the tone shifts quite quickly and you sort of have to adapt as the audience and catch up.
Yeah, and then it makes you when you have a comedy that's just you know, all comedic or all seriousness, you don't get that, you know, the dynamic. So when you go from one to the other, it makes, you know, the one you just left kind of, you know, funnier when you come back to it.
Yeah. Why do you think your characters? Why do you think they drive each other insane all the time?
Well, I mean, they both are in the same profession, but with a 200-year gap, learning gap between. So I mean, I can't imagine working with an actor who's from, you know, 200 years from now. Yeah. You know, I imagine it's going to be very different how things get done, and you know, it's going to be tense and difficult, and there's going to be. I just had this thought that the powers that be, you know, who are kind of running the whole show, put us. The Masons.
Yeah. Right. What are they called in our movie? What are they called? Gosh, isn't it terrible? I can't remember. But the guys who are running the show.
Infernal Affairs or whatever.
Internal Affairs,
Eternal Affairs.
Eternal Affairs, there you go.
Infernal Affairs.
They put us together to kind of refine each other. They put these two opposite things together. They knew that this would clash, and then, you know, through eternity we will work it out. You know, I mean, maybe that's it.
Well, that's great. They gave me the rap. It was very nice.
All right,
meeting you.
nice
Good
to
seeing
meet
you
you.
again.
Thank you.